I mean, all I can say is that we've worked real hard at trying to do the best we can at making sure we're as healthy as we can be. I give a lot of credit to Ty Stewart to keeping us in a spot, and our trainers to keeping us in a place where we can have an opportunity to compete, an opportunity to play. And that's really what we're working for. And a lot of credit goes to our players and our staff as well, because these young ladies have, there's sacrifices anytime you're playing college athletics. During this time, there are even more sacrifices that you've got to make. And so, but they're doing those things and they're doing the best. And that doesn't give you any guarantee. You can make all those sacrifices. You can be as cautious. You can follow all the protocols. That still doesn't give you any guarantees that that you're not going to get bit by this virus. And so right now, we're as healthy as we can be, and we're working hard. Team chemistry is good. Work ethic is good. Workouts and practices are going well. We're young. There's a lot to learn, but we are looking forward to getting an opportunity to play.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. You talked a lot from the virus standpoint. You said you're young, you're working hard, but now scheduled to start the season less than a week from today. You know, in terms of where you'd like to be and where you're at, I guess, where would you say you're at?
I'm pleased with where we are, giving our youth and our inexperience. Their work ethic and their effort has been tremendous, and that part is a real positive. The part you can't get in practice is experience, and so we're going to just have to go play games, and there's no way to get experience but to get experience. And so that's the next step in our learning curve, and we're looking forward to the challenge of all the games, not just our opening game, but every game we get's going to be a challenge, and that'll be part of our learning curve. I think this group is a good group of young ladies, good group of ball players. We've got to get on the floor and see where we are, and then keep working and keep swimming. Just keep moving forward.
Coach, Drew Tennis with the College Heights Herald. Is there any update on Raneem?
I text and talk to Raneem about every other day, probably, and so right now she's still hopeful that she'll be able to rejoin the team at some point. We're working on that. She's working on a schedule of classes, and that's still she still has some family matters that she has to be attentive to, and so we're supportive of her. That's obviously more important than basketball. And so when and if she's able to rejoin us, we'll be glad, obviously, to have her back. And I know the players that are here are supportive of her and looking forward to the opportunity where she might be able to come back and play.
Coach Jared McDonald with the Daily News. The last time we had you, we didn't have a non-conference schedule. Now we do. Young team, they're going to get tested right off the bat with Tennessee. But, as a non-conference schedule as a whole, how did that come together, and what are your thoughts on the competition that you guys have?
The majority of the non-conference schedule was already in place, and we left that as it was. And some of that we had to change, obviously, because of the start date getting pushed back. That eliminated the opportunity for us to play Louisville right now. We'll pick that up again next year. And that opened the door to play. We're really glad Coach Harper wanted the opportunity to let us play there at Tennessee. We're looking forward to that. I've always liked, you guys know, I like starting off the season with a great opponent. I think that there's a reason that NASCAR has the Daytona 500 first. And I think that's great for us to start off with a team that gives you a lot of energy, a lot of momentum in your practices, to keep your practices focused. And then you find out early on where you stand, where you're good, what you're good at doing, and what you need to work on. And we're going to find out on Saturday just where we stand. And they're a really good team. Not only they're a good team, they're really long. They may be the longest team that we play all season. 6'5", 6'5", 6'4", 6'2". I mean, they are super long. And so that'll be a big challenge for us. But it'll test our fundamentals, test our team play. And that's what we want. We want a challenge.
Darren Johnson, WNKY 40. Coach Collins, I'm curious because you have a lot of freshmen, obviously, on your roster this year. It's a very young and inexperienced team. And their first collegiate game is going to be in Knoxville versus the Lady Vols. That's a pretty daunting task. But from a head coaching perspective, how are you trying to prepare your team for the season opener in 5 days?
Well, for preparing for Tennessee, we don't prepare any differently than we do anybody else. We're preparing to go down there and play to compete to win. And so we put our team and our players in the best spot to do that, to be successful. We're able to do. As far as just throughout the season, we've done a little bit differently this year because they are young. We've broken our workouts and our practices up into smaller sessions. So we've already finished a morning workout this morning. That's true most mornings. We start at 6 a.m. Then we pick up again in the afternoon, and we'll have another. We've done a whole lot of two-a-days, and that's really by design to help learning. And I think that works better than having one long practice session, which you can do with experienced players. Younger players, I feel like they need those broken up sessions. So that seems to have worked well. Our players seem to have liked that, get some additional reps. But as far as preparing for Tennessee, that's not any different than we were preparing for Middle Tennessee. We'll work to give our players the best shot no matter who we're playing.
Coach Drew Tennis again. How have you been preparing on the court? Like what have you been running through in practices? And have you been watching any film on the Lady Vols?
Just started watching film on the Lady Vols recently. Now they've had obviously some roster changes, but they're still long. They return a lot of centers. They've got the preseason first team all player in Davis. And so, she's maybe the best player that we'll see all season, possibly. But we've been preparing really on everything. We've worked on everything from defense to fundamentals of passing and shooting technique and everything on our offense. So I like the attention to detail that our players have. They're all hungry. They're working hard to be as good as they can be. But this will be a big challenge for us on Saturday.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. Sticking with Tennessee, the two programs went back at it, back in the Paul Sandiford days, pretty good rivalry there. What does it mean for the program to just have this game on the schedule?
Well, it's a lot like playing Louisville or any other, great team, great program. The cool thing about playing Tennessee is just that, playing Tennessee and the history there. And so it'll be a neat atmosphere for these young ladies to walk into that arena and just to see the orange and to be on that floor, that they all know what the history is there. And then it gives us an opportunity to talk about the history here that we have at Western Kentucky and helps them to understand how important and how special this winning tradition here is Western Kentucky. And so we're glad to get the opportunity. We're hoping to grow this game beyond just this season, and we're looking forward to it.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. You've talked in the past about Meral. She's going to be expected to be a leader this year, and you said that she has been, especially vocally. Going back to when you first met her, I guess, what was your first impression of Meral, and how have you seen her grow from that point?
My impression for the first time we met?
Yeah, first memory of her.
Oh, when she came to practice, and the very first time she came to practice, and we couldn't have been practice maybe more than 30 minutes, and I already decided that young lady's going to start. And the reason decided she wasn't the best basketball player on the floor, but she was the hardest playing basketball player on the floor. And that included players who were out there like Whitney Creech and Dee Givens at that time. And she just played hard. Now, she was a little bit out of control. She was a little bit reckless, but she has continued to work and improve. And she just always competes hard. And we had a scrimmage a few days ago, and there was a series where I had to call over to the side, and I said, now, who is the best rebounder on this team? And she paused and she said, I am. And I said, well, if the best rebounder isn't boxing out, then what am I supposed to tell the players that aren't the best rebounder to do? And so she went out and I think she ended up with 20 rebounds in that scrimmage. And so she has continued to work diligently. And on other areas of the game, you'll see when she plays, there are other areas of her game that continue to improve. And that's something I take pride in all the players, not just Meral, but all of them. They all continue to grow and improve throughout their career. And I think that's evident. And you saw Dee Givens' growth. You saw Whitney Creech's growth. You've seen Raneem El-Jadaway's growth. And so I expect the same thing out of Meral.
Coach Drew Tennis again. So is there what players on your team do you think are going to be huge playmakers on Saturday?
That's a great question, Drew. And I expect Meral to be involved in the plays. I expect Mariah Haywood to be involved in the plays. I expect Fatou Pouye to be involved. But as you know, sometimes things, when the lights come on, sometimes players are a little bit different when the lights come on as opposed to practice. And so I can have expectations, I can have ideas, but sometimes those players will redefine those when the ball gets tipped up. So those are our three most experienced players, and those are the ones I expect early on to be the most impactful.
Coach Jared with the Daily News. You know, in the past, we've talked about all the 20-win seasons, trying to win conference titles and make the NCAA tournament and all that. You know, this year it's going to be weird. You know, shortened schedules. You never know when you're going to play or not. I guess looking ahead, what do you think you would have to do to consider this season a success?
To continue to play. I think at this point of the season, just having an opportunity to keep playing games and keep growing and getting better. Obviously, we want to win. It would be ideal if we could continue our streak of 20 wins. At this point, it would be nice to make sure we're going to get 20 games in, let alone 20 wins. Really, we've already had a change in our schedule. I don't know if you've seen that. I mean, Lillian put out our schedule, our non-conference schedule, and within actually while she was putting it out, I was on the phone learning that one of the games had to be rescheduled. And so I think that as I've told the players, we can only control what we can control, and we can only do what we can do. And I think the most important thing is that we stay positive, keep swimming, keep moving forward. I think you can set those goals, you can have ideas, but you've got to be flexible. You've got to be ready to move and to keep your eyes on moving forward. And I think our players have done a really good job of that to this point.
Coach Hunter Smith with WBKO, you know, just because of all the kind of uncertainty and like you said, you know, you're just hoping that you're able to hopefully get 20 games in. Have you almost seen just like an extra motivation from your players because of that? Because, you know, you never know when all of a sudden the season could get shut down again, like last year.
Right. And that's a great point, Hunter. I'm sure you've had those similar questions and conversations with football and men's basketball players. And I think that's, to me, the best indication of that is the changes that they have made off the court, the sacrifices that we're having Thanksgiving. My wife and I are trying to figure out where we're going to have Thanksgiving, but it may be outside in the backyard. It may be in the middle of Diddle Arena, but we're going to have Thanksgiving someplace. Normally, if we were going to be here on Thanksgiving, you know, the players that are nearby, they could go home. But during this time, so they're going to forego being home with their families so that we can make sure we're too close to the starting gate to miss an opportunity to play. And so I think they've made a lot of sacrifices off the court, as well as being flexible about the things that we're doing on the court, and to make sure that we're able to keep playing, keep working, keep getting better, and get a chance to play this season.
Coach Jared with the Daily News again. You know, with the NCAA issuing the blanket waiver, you know, with the additional year of eligibility and that additional year to complete it, have you had any discussions with the players about whether they want to take advantage of that or not, or is there anything said at this point?
I've talked to a couple of the seniors. I've talked to Fatou and Ranin, and they have some interest in that, but I think there's still a lot of question marks between now and then. And we've not gone into those conversations deeply because we're still at the beginning of this season. I think that's still putting the cart before the horse a little bit. And so right now our focus is on making sure that we're growing as a team, getting better, staying safe, and getting to play. We'll have those conversations in more detail as we get further and deeper into this season.
Taron Johnson, WKY 40. Coach, now with the schedule as it is right now, you obviously have the season opener Saturday. Then your home opener is a week after that. And then the third game of the season is 8 days after that. With such a young team, you know, you mentioned not really knowing what to expect because you haven't ever seen them when the lights come on. How valuable is it to have that much practice time in between your first and second game and your second and third game as well?
Well, it's good and bad. It's positive and negative. I mean, the great thing is you got practice time. The bad thing is that you don't have time to get right back on the floor and get back at it again. And so we'll benefit from having that extra prep time. But then you turn around and look at after we get done with finals, we'll play, I think, 4 games in 8 days. And so because we'll play Little Rock, then Bellarmine, then we'll play Mercer and Samford. I believe that's the right order. Is it about 8 days, Leanne? Oh, here we go. I didn't count the days, but it's about 8 days, guys. Let me see. From the 13th to the 21st. So we'll play Little Rock on the 13th, and we'll finish up that 4-game series on the 21st. So it is 8 days. So it'll be nice to come back and have some more prep time. But that's also not very typical of how the season or the conference schedule goes usually. And then we'll also have to get ready for our conferences. We've never played back to back. And with the young team playing on a Friday and then turning around in 21 hours, roughly 21 hours later, and playing the same team again, that'll be another challenge. And so there'll be a lot of challenges this season. All I can tell you is I'm real pleased with these young ladies and how hard they've worked and how they've worked together. And so there'll be ups and there'll be downs, but I think that overall we'll continue to grow, get better. If I see the improvement in a month that we've made in the past month or 6 weeks, we'll be okay.
Hey, Meral, this is Jared MacDonald with the Daily News here in Bowling Green. I guess just overall, how have things been going since you guys have been back at campus and now preparing for the season?
Yeah, it's different than last year. Everything's different. So we are happy to get back here and we start the season next week. So that's the most important thing right now.
To follow up with that, what's kind of been the hardest part of all of this?
We start late, so we just practice for just month or month and a half. I came late. I came in October, so it was hard to get back here. And I didn't practice I started to practice after a week I came here. So I started the second official practice. So it's gonna be hard, but it's fine right now.
Drew tennis with College Heights Herald. So how do you expect the team to play against Tennessee on Saturday? What are some of the things that you have been working on in practice to beat them?
I think we will start to watch film for Tennessee today to see how they're playing, stuff like that. But me, Fatou, and Mariah, we saw them last year, so we know how they are playing, how they are tall. And we start to talk to our freshmen and tell them how they are going. And I think Coach B sent us the film for them from last year to see what they are doing and how they are playing to be ready for them next week.
Meral, this is Jared again with the Daily News. You don't have Whitney, Dee, Raneem, or Sherry to start the year this year. You're the lone starter back. I guess, how much are you putting on yourself in terms of trying to lead this group?
Oh, I know, it's challenge year this year because we have 6 freshmen and we have 9 players left. So last 2 years I was learning from Dee, Whit, Lex, Kane, and Raneem. So I'm trying to teach the freshmen this year and lead them. It's hard for me because it's my first time. So, but I'm trying to be a leader for them this year, but I'm trying. I hope I'm doing good right now.
And for you personally, in terms of basketball skills, I guess what have you been working on the most this off season and trying to improve on?
I'm working to get more rebounds because I'm tall guard right now. And Coach Collins always make me to go and get rebounds. So I'm trying to get improved on that. I think I'm doing good on that right now. And trying to get improved for 3-point shot right now. And that's it. And drive too.
Meral, the second half of last year and that closing stretch, it seemed like you were playing really, really well, really good games. How much confidence does that give you heading into this season?
Coach Collins was make me to get more chance last year, last second half was last year. So that gave me to be more comfortable in the game. And I started I start to focus on to go get rebounds and just make a good shots, not like that, the first half of the last year. So this year I'm trying to be do what I'm good at so I can help my team to win the games.
Taryn Johnson, WNKY 40 TV here in Bowling Green. Meral, I have to ask, you mentioned the 6 freshmen that are on the team. Who were a few that have stood out to you and really, making a good progression and being fitting seamlessly on the court with you guys?
They are working hard. Like everybody, like the six freshmen, they are really working hard and they are ready for playing games. So I'm always like get them the energy to keep playing and not quit too early. I know it's gonna be hard for them, like first game, stuff like that, but they will know like it's gonna be fine. And if they keep playing and keep playing hard, we will be fine. So I'm trying to tell them that every day, every practice, because it's gonna be help us in the games.
Hi,
Meral.
Drew Tennis with the College Heights Herald. So you were talking about rebounds earlier. Is there any other parts of your game that you think that you could use to perform really good on Saturday?
I think the only thing that can help me to get rebounds is just to block them out so I can go and get rebound. It's the only thing. If I didn't do that, I will not get any rebound in this game. So I think Coach Collins, like this week, will talk about that and we practice about that so I can go and get rebounds for my team, and Selman so he can do that too, and Fatou.
Meral, Jared MacDonald here with the Daily News again. We've talked a lot about this season and last season, but going back to before you were here at Western Kentucky, I guess, how did you end up getting recruited here? And I guess, what was that whole process like?
I was playing with my national team. We went to play in World Cup, so I think Coach Collins saw my games when I play over there, so he started to talk to me and stuff like that. But at the beginning, I don't want to come here and play. I just want to stay in my home with my family. So I went to college in Egypt, like for 2 years, I think, and after that, I said I can come right now to US and play here. And that's it. I'm now here.
I kind of asked him about his first memory of you, and he talked about the first practice that you had here at Western Kentucky, and he said within 30 minutes he decided you were going to be a starter because of how hard you played. I guess that first practice here, what do you remember about that?
It wasn't hard. Like we just it was individual practice, so it wasn't hard, but it started to be hard when it started like official practice. I saw everything's different than Egypt. Everything. Like I'm always like everybody was taking charge of me because I'm always going pew. I'm not stopping, and we can take time out and get rebound. I wasn't know everything about that, so it was hard. But he told me like I have to keep playing and not stop. So I was doing that. So to start with D and with.
Hi, Drew Tennis again with the College Heights Herald. Are there any players on the team that you feel like you work really well with, like either in practice and in games, that are going to help you a lot on Saturday?
I think we have a good chemistry with everybody. Like I don't care if I play with all of them right now. I think Ellie will be good. I think Mariah will be a good point guard for us on Saturday. I think Fatou was working right now to play 5 until Nemo's coming back. So I think everybody will be ready for Saturday. So I think I can play with all of them right now. We have a good chemistry because we play a lot of scrimmage like last 3 weeks. So we start to be fine. We playing together right now.
Jared with the Daily News again. You mentioned Raneem. 2 players from Egypt and Bowling Green, Kentucky is kind of a cool stat. How much did you know Raneem before you started here, or did you at all? Or what's your relationship like with her?
Yeah, I know her like from a long time. Like we play with each other in national team. So she helped me a lot last 2 years, especially my freshman year. So I really miss her right now. And all of us really miss her right now in the court and off the court. I hope she's coming soon. But I know her like from a long time. I think 5 years, 6 years, stuff like that.
I know quite a bit about basketball here, but like growing up in Egypt, what's it like getting into basketball, and what was your experience like just starting to play and then continuing to improve and then getting to the national team?
I think the only thing that make me to get experience from Egypt, like I play with old people like in Egypt. Like in Egypt, we have a clubs, so like we don't have like an age, like the only age. Like I play with someone have 30 years and stuff like that. So I get experience from them, and we play a national team with like the old people. I play with the good players, like they are playing in EuroLeague right now and stuff like that. So I get experience from them. So I think that helped me right now to get better and improve myself right here, especially my junior year. I hope I'm doing good this year to help my teammates.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Meryl.
Thank you. Good luck this season.
Meryl.
All right.
Hello.
Questions for Fatou?
Fatou, Jared with the Daily News. Back again for another year here at Western Kentucky. What did you learn from last year, getting in some of the game action, and now heading into this year, kind of being expected to take another step with all the players that left after last year?
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. That as you guys know, we left. Like we don't have a lot of players like last year. We had a lot of players that have a lot of experience. And then this year is different because we have 6 freshmen, and it's challenging because me too, I can say it's kind of like new because it's just like my second year, but it's something that you have to do. I have to step up, to be a leader, to help the freshmen, even though it won't be easy at all, but we're trying to do our best to just do what we can.
Thank you. So what are the biggest strengths that you've been working on, like in practice, and how do you think that they're going to translate into the game on Saturday?
I've been working on driving, shooting threes, and especially rebounding. Coach Khan is always on my head, fast to go pursue the ball, And I feel like if I do that, like go get rebound, grab those rebound, get some extra play, we're gonna be good. Yeah. So I really been working on that.
To Jared with the Daily News again, when we just had Meryl, she said that you were kind of working on being that 5 with Raneem not here to start the year. I guess what's that been like, that whole process of trying to grow that part of your game and continue to improve?
Actually, like during this time, I have played 3 positions. I played 2, 3, then now 5, and it's like, it's okay with me. We don't have a lot of players, so, whatever coach want me to do to make the team better, I'm down to do that. So, he feel like me playing the 5 will help the team. Yeah, we've been working on that, even though, Nemo is the only one that can do what she can do, but, we try our best, to help the team. So by working out with 5 position, get rebound. Yeah.
As of right now, you guys are scheduled to play Tennessee to open the season. I guess, what does it mean to play a program like that with all the history they have? And, what do you know about that team specifically heading into Saturday's game?
We're so excited to play them. We played them last year, but with a different team, as I said earlier. We had a lot of experience like D-Weed, people that we really could count on. Because at the end of the day, you're going to see D shoot threes, with drive, stuff like that. Even though this year we really don't have that, but, we can go grab rebound, play hard, stuff like that. We're really excited to play them, and we're going to do our best, defending hard, getting rebound, hitting some threes, whatever we can do to just win that game.
It's going to be different this year once the conference play starts. You guys are going to have to play back-to-back days, Friday, Saturday. Have you guys been doing anything specific in practice to try to prepare for that, or are you just going to kind of take it as it comes?
Oh yeah, we've been doing that. I mean, we've been working so hard, like they just been, really trying to prepare us because, as you guys know, the COVID and everything that's going on, like everything changed. But, they're really doing their best, to get us, be minded on what's gonna, like how it's gonna be. We practicing all the time, back to back. The freshman, me, myself, I'd be like, can we have a break? No, this is how the game gonna be when the season starts. So, we've been into that routine, and I feel like that really helped us already. So, we just hoping that we will do good.
And Drew Tennis again with the Herald. So as a person who's been on the team for a while, how have you been working with the younger players, just being a leader? What have you been doing to kind of get them to the point where they're ready for this game on Saturday?
I'm just, trying to talk to them over every time, if coach yells at them or, if they like do some mistake and stuff, and just trying to tell them to keep pushing, keep their head up, even though we're going to have a lot of mistakes, but, like how we going to respond, going to be the difference. Like, keep pushing. Don't worry about that mistake. Even though, I'm trying to do good on that too, because, coach always tell me, next play, stuff like that. So, when I see the freshmen do that, I'll be like, oh, like I understand, so I have, like the experience to talk to them, like to tell them to keep pushing, give them advices. And I feel like it's going good so far.
This is Taryn Johnson with WKY 40 TV here in Bowling Green. Fatou, I'm curious, has it been hard at all to get used to playing with a new set of players? You guys have 6 true freshmen on the team and obviously graduated 4 starters or don't have 4 starters from last year's team. Has it been tough to kind of develop that chemistry or just get used to playing with a new set of players after playing with the same girls for the last 3 years?
Yes, it's not easy, but at the end of the day, like if we just keep working together, not be selfish, like sharing the ball, communicating, I feel like that, make things very easy. And I feel like that's what we've been doing, even though, yeah, it's very hard because sometimes like you be like, pass me here the ball, they pass it somewhere else. You like, oh, but we communicate, trying to be like, okay, that's how I want you to pass me the ball. That's what I want you to do. And, like those little communications really help us, like to have a good chemistry. And I'm really proud of the freshmen because like they some hardworking girls, like they all the time in the gym trying to get some shot up, like working on some of their, things that not working. Like I really love that about them, like the fact that they always in the gym.
Anything else? All right, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Lillian.